You need to walk
out of my store right now.
Hi guys, my name is Cassidy and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I said I was gonna stop saying we're gonna make a drinking game out of it now because I can't stop saying Every time I say take a shot of tequila to see what my kind of Saturday nights are like. So thank you. And okay, so about 6 months ago, 6 months ago? I'm not sure. I think it was much longer than 6 months ago. I quit one of my last jobs and I had that job for about 3 years. I don't even know if I can say it on YouTube, but I worked at a smoke shop. Like, I sold like water pipes, hand pipes, e-cigarette juice, e-cigarettes. We did not sell cigarettes. We were not that type of shop. I mean, I know why, but it's like, it's not even important. We just know that I worked at a smoke shop for a really long time, and 3 years gave me a lot of material. Now, I would have talked about it much earlier, but honestly, like, I didn't have a setup for it and I wasn't really thinking about it. Recently I've been going through my cell phone, specifically my notes app, and within my notes app I have what is called, and some of them are about specific people, like my specific customers. I had I don't know how to explain it without sounding, is it offensive? I had a lot of drug addicts as customers. A lot of the times, people will come into the smoke shop off of some very illicit substances. I've seen people on meth, on heroin, acid. I've had a man apologize to me for being on acid in my store once. It was when he was sober, so. Acid inside my store one day, next day, I'm sorry. So. Really weird. I think that's gonna be the story I start off with probably, and I think I might make a series out of this because I've got so many stories. We're going to the notes app on my phone, specifically being things. I might have to bleep that out. I don't think I'm allowed to say that, but here is my things notes app. I know this story off the top of my head, but I think I'm going to use this for reference just in case I do forget something. To set the scene, I have to explain first of all that in the area that I worked in, there was a lot of foot traffic. So with there being a lot of foot traffic, a lot of people were walking by the front of my store. And my store was more or less of a long, like, closet style kind of deal. It was like narrow and long, and I would just pace back and forth, clean, do whatever I needed to do. I'm at work. It's a retail store. I'm all by myself. That was the scary part about working there. It gave me a real thick layer of tough skin. Without further ado, let me just get into this story. So there was this phenomenon that would happen, and I'm a young girl in a smoke shop and I'm all by myself. Men would walk by the door, take a couple steps back, so they'd be in my doorway and look at me and either walk in or walk away. Either or, it wasn't offended if you walked away. I was actually probably a little bit happy because I know what you're about to do. You're not about to come in and buy something, which is my goal. I want you to buy something. You're just gonna come in and you're gonna beat around the bush until you try to get my numbers. I'm glad I don't have to deal with that one anymore. But this man walks by my store. It's about 9 o'clock at night. It's pretty dark. I remember it being a Sunday, so there wasn't a whole lot of foot traffic. He was the first one I probably saw in like 30 minutes. Walks by my front door, does his double take, and walks into the store. From what I remember, he peeked his head inside the store, which there was a corridor right in front of my store that had a staircase, and so it wasn't immediately my store. It was a square piece of a bunch of tile, my doors, stairs, and so he walks onto the tile and he says, "Hey, do you work here?" And I say,
"Yes, I work here."
And then he kind of just stared at me like this for a while. I freaked out inside. I freaked out and he gave me that look, and understandably so, I was super weirded out. And so he starts to slowly walk into the store with his cigarette, and so I stopped him. Halt. And I say, "Sir, you need to smoke your cigarette outside. You can finish your cigarette outside and then you can come inside." He then goes, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm so sorry, and walks outside and smokes the rest of his cigarette. All the while he is like full on staring into my soul, right down to the guts in my body. He's not taking his eyes off me. He finishes his cigarette, he puts it down on the ground, he smashes it out, he walks inside. At this point, I already feel a little weird because he is maintaining eye contact with me throughout this entire situation. So then he puts his hand on the counter after I ask him, how can I help you? He puts his hand on the counter and he says, dude, I'm on so many drugs right now. And I look at him and I take a mental note. So first of all, I work in a shop full of glass. Anything in there could break. You lose consciousness, you fall, I let you stay inside the store. Technically, it's not your fault anymore. That's my fault. So I advise him next that he should probably walk outside, right? And so instead of taking my advice when I said,
hey man, if you're on drugs, I can't have you in my store. You're a liability, so why don't we just walk you out of here?
and I'm trying to be as calm as I can. I've gone to raves since I was 18 years old. I get it, you're on drugs. Now, I just couldn't have him inside my store. Being a civilian, if I was at a rave, if I was at a show, and somebody was tripping, I would probably just walk them to the medical tent, but at this point in time, I cannot do anything. I'm at work, I can't close my doors, like, there's nothing I can feasibly do for them. The cops don't really come immediately for me because I'm, like, there's no, like, real threat. So, with that being said, this guy takes one look at me and says, where's the beach? We're about a mile down from the beach at where my shop was at, so I say, well, why don't you walk out and I'll show you exactly where the beach is. And he is still creepily staring at me in my soul, kind of not letting up about the beach thing. And I get fed up and I say,
you need to get out of my store and I will tell you where to go. If you make a right onto the street that I'm about to show you and walk all the way down, you'll walk straight to the water. It's very straightforward.
Very simple. Not a simple concept for somebody on drugs. Like, so he looks at me. I'm basically getting so stern at this point. I tell him, you need to walk
out of my store right now.
At this point, I'm getting aggravated. I'm getting scared. I don't know what he's capable of. I'm about 5'4" and a $130. Like, I'm small. And this man is about 6 foot and at least 220 pounds, and he's on drugs. I'm basically like pointing my hand in front of me and I'm like, get out, get out, get out. He looks down at my hand, looks at me and tries to grab my hand. I freak. I say, get the out of my store. Get out. Like, you are not allowed in here. And he's looking down at my hand, looking at me, just kind of like looking across, down his shoulder. And I'm like, go. Go, go. How long does it take to walk 3 feet? It really, when you're on drugs, it takes 3 years, I'm sure. Man, as soon as I walk outside, actually I say, walk this way and you will walk straight into the ocean. Like, I promise you, like, that's where the beach is. And he looks at me and he says, beach? No, I need to know where the hospital is. Lo and behold, there's a hospital. The same direction. I tell him,
you didn't say hospital, you said beach, but obviously you said you're on drugs.
And he looks at me and he's like, and I'm like, the hospital is that way. And he's like, you don't care about me. Who are you? I don't know you. You don't know me. Okay, you want to know where the hospital is? Man, fine, I'll tell you where the hospital is. It's down that same direction. Just look on your right. When you're about a half a mile down, big, huge hospital, largest hospital. It's right there. They have an emergency room. Cool, you're good to go. So he's looking at me and he says, you don't care about me. I'm like, no, like, what? And he says, my heart, it hurts. I'm like, then you need to go to the hospital. Do you need me to call you an ambulance? And he's like, and I look at him and I, with all of my might, get the away from me and do not come back to my store. Do you hear me? I watch him. This is all the while I'm outside. There is a security guard in their car, but not for my store, but a store a couple doors down from me, a real fun store. I'm looking for the security guard. I don't necessarily see him. I had pepper spray on me, so like, fine, whatever. I had my pepper spray, but I watched this man walk down the street and keep turning his head and still staring at me, still smiling. Bar none, one of the creepiest things that's ever happened in my store. Besides anybody that would come in and not say a word, even if I said, hi, how are you? They would just stare me deep in my soul and not do anything. If you ever want to work at a smoke shop, just make sure that you know self-defense and that you carry a weapon with you, because that was really creepy. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to sit down here with me, because I have so many more of these stories, and working, that was bar none one of my favorite jobs. It was a great job, right? Like I said in the last video I made, I am a line cook now, but you know, you get a little bit of experience here and there. I will definitely be back in sales at some point in my life. It's just not right now. And also shout out to my old boss. And so this one's for you, my guy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe and comment any cool jobs that you've had in your life, because jobs is something I really, really like to talk about. Thank you so much, and peace out. Have a great day.